Hey, adventures. On today's show, we're going to hear two stories. One is a slow travel adventure. How about heading to Peru and finding an Airbnb with your entire family? Bring the kids along.
Ooh,
That's what Carrie and Eric did. They even found ways to educate their kids while on their adventure. They'll share ideas about Machu Picchu, escaping the touristy Cusco, shopping in local markets, and more. And we're going to get a pronunciation guide from Jim, who also later will share his adventure. Now, what's cool, Crystal, about his, I shared a few weeks ago, for people who didn't hear the episode, I shared my adventure through Adventures by Disney. People don't know that Disney has a travel company. They do, and it is luxury travel. Well, Jim shares his adventure, which he'll tell us what he loved about this company, which is much more of a 3-star adventure versus the 5-star, and didn't cost 15 million bags of money like mine did. It's a great episode because I think, we're going to get to compare my red carpet stuff versus Jim using a different travel company. We'll get to A/B those, and then Eric and Carrie not using a travel company at all, just going, you know what, you don't need a stinking travel company. We're just going to do this. I like all those, Crystal.
Me too. Well, I'm more of a 3-star. Maybe. I think it depends on.
I know. I think you go on I think anybody goes on one of those Disney trips. They're like, let's do it this way every time.
Well, I guess we'll see. To be determined. TBD. But at the end of this episode and every show, you'll hear our gear of the day pick. So if you're looking for best in class gear that's worth the price, head to our amazing Amazon page. Yeah, I was trying to say that more smooth.
But it is amazing.
It is. It's some good stuff on there. Thank you for sharing your good travel gear. It's already helped me at stackingadventures.com/gear of the day or stackingadventures.com/GOTD. You'll help the show and you'll help yourself adventure better and for less money. But yeah, seriously, there's some good stuff on there.
Ready for adventure? From vacation to staycation and from the mountains to the beach. This is the Stacking Adventures podcast.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another Stacking Adventures podcast where we head around the world with our adventure community to stack memories we'll remember forever. She's Crystal Hammond.
And he's Joe. I'm
Wow.
Joe.
What's up with that?
Right. I know.
Yeah, that turn over a new leaf to Crystal.
It's my focus spray.
So you all set for Thanksgiving? We got Thanksgiving 2 days away.
It's approaching. Well, the year is just flown by.
It's crazy.
But I'm not cooking anything, or I haven't bought anything to cook yet. So we'll see.
Come
what
to
happens.
Detroit. Hang out with us.
OMW. No, it's snow, right?
Yeah, I think there is snow in Detroit.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
We have rain here because it's not cold enough to snow. I love it.
It's nice in Texarkana where we're recording this, but I'm headed to Detroit in the next couple days, so can't wait to see family. And unfortunately, we're going to miss Crystal. But on today's show, what I like about this, Crystal, is we're going to prove that there's lots of ways to do a Peruvian adventure, not just one size fits all. And certainly, doing it the way that I did it, first class accommodations, luxury stuff, that's great. But then again, Bentley. I think Eric and Carrie are really going to show you the other side of that, which really, do you really want to just be secluded, or would you rather get out there in the middle of the people and see what Peru is like? Like, there's a piece of me that goes, you know what, that's really cool. And showed us that last week.
Yeah, that is true. But I think it depends. Again, I'm going to keep with it's a case-by-case basis kind of thing, because it depends on my familiarity. Because, I don't know, there's some places where, all right, Paris, I guess they don't. They are the French. They look down on the Americans that won't bother to learn French.
I've actually found Parisians to be very nice. Even because maybe it's my expectation. I heard that they were going to be awful, and then they weren't.
Yeah, that's
so.
True.
I was grateful that they just weren't mean to me.
I don't know. It depends, and it also depends on the story. So if someone told me what they did, I'm more likely to try to follow the same footsteps.
Well, and that's the goal of this show, right?
Yep.
Is if we can just help people be brave, get out there and try stuff.
educated brave. That's what I like. An educated brave.
Absolutely. All right. Ready to jump in?
With both feet.
Here comes Carrie and Eric sharing their Peruvian adventure.
Hi, Joe, Crystal, and other adventurers. This is Eric.
And Carrie.
And we would like to tell you about our trip to Urubamba, Peru. So
It's funny, he calls it Urubamba. I think we stayed, Eric, in the same place, and I thought it was Urubamba. Or maybe you are saying Urubamba, and you pronounce it way better than I do.
Like a little tiny roll of that R. Urubamba.
Yes. Yeah, you're going to hear Eric and Carrie pronounce it that way, and I'm fairly certain we stayed in the same town. I was in that 5-star resort right on the edge of that town. But anyway, Eric, continue about Urubamba.
2023 school year, we pulled our middle schoolers out of school and wanted to spend a year slow traveling. And so we spent about 3 weeks in Urubamba because we didn't want to have the same touristy experience that you might get if you stayed in Cusco the whole time.
Or if you were Joe staying at the resort.
3 weeks. Wow.
3 weeks is great because you can really, I think, then, Crystal, you talked about being educated. 3 weeks is enough time to really dive into the community.
Immerse. That's a good. And like they took the kids out of school too, so they're.
What do you think about that?
I like it, just because so they're not going to be there during a time where only people's who's like a spring break or a summer break or winter break, because those places tend to jack up prices because they know that people with children can only travel certain times a year. So I am liking this already. I mean, I was a perfect attendance kid, but it's not like I would miss school because I'm going on a trip. It would be, missing school because you're sick or something else. It's the perfect reason, I think, because they're going to be educated, seeing the world. That's what I think.
I agree with you. And it's funny. Cheryl thought the exact opposite. So so we met halfway. Our kids never missed school.
Nice. Perfect attendance kids, though. Nothing wrong with that. We
absolutely met halfway. She won. But I am with you. I think there's so many lessons and so much that kids can learn, and especially in those middle school years. Eric, I think that's great. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Smaller kind of blue collar town, and we use that as our launching off point for our various travels. And so I just want to tell you first a little bit about daily life in Urubamba. We got an Airbnb downtown, less than $40 a night, and we would shop at the local market. We would get the lunches,
have breakfast there. There's a beautiful downtown Catholic church at the Plaza de Armas, and it's where the whole town would come. And there would be some days there would be a parade. One time there was they were celebrating the 100 years of the public school system, so randomly had dances and costumes, elaborate masks. It was gorgeous.
We actually ventured into town one day and went into that market, and the market was absolutely fantastic in Urubamba. It was just beautiful. But to be there, look at the difference in our travel adventure. We were in the same place, Crystal, $40 a night for an
amazing.
Airbnb. Yeah.
Well, and I love and I've adopted this, at home too, is that your adventure for the day is seeking out, your ingredients, going to the market for, what you're going to eat and what you're going to cook later in the day. I love that.
Some of the different foods. How do I cook this?
Yeah.
How fun would that be? And because you're there for so long, you can really dive into the different foods as well.
Oh yeah. And that's a good budgeting tool too, because then they'll know, how much to spend each day at the market. And $40 a night. I'm still like that. That's amazing for a family.
It's so amazing. I did not have that experience, and I was in the same town. Back to Carrie and Eric.
And so we found that just by accident, wandering around. The rhythm at the town was interesting. Like everybody would come out at nights, and you'd see grandmas in their shops with their school kids at 10:30 p.m. on a weekday. and everybody out just eating, and you had street food.
Definitely a nightlife.
Yeah.
We saw this in Cusco, in more touristy Cusco. We stayed a couple nights in Cusco, but the town square, which we were only a couple blocks from our beautiful hotel, and we just went and sat on the cathedral steps. There were two cathedrals in the main downtown square. We sat on the steps, and there was a protest march with some students going on that were talking about environmentalism and burning of the rainforest was what we found out they were protesting about. And there were just groups of families like Eric and Carrie talked about. I could even imagine in Urubamba, a smaller town, to have much more of a community feel than Cusco, with, lots of tourists wandering around while the locals are also out there. Just even more cool to just be a part of.
Oh, I love it.
On a random evening.
Right.
That way, not party way, in a social way.
Yep. And so a couple recommendations. If you're in a town like that in Peru, if you go to the central market, they will have obviously some amazing food that you can get, like 75 cents for a pound of strawberries.
Delicious strawberries.
Ooh.
And on the second and third floor, both here and some other places that we went in Central America or South America, you could go up to these very small food vendors. And so I'd get a breakfast of caldo, which is a kind of a stew, again, maybe a buck. And it was full of all sorts of like different kinds of potatoes and all sorts of other meat. One of them had a potato that tasted like blue cheese. It was weird.
And it would be Eric sitting there eating his soup with all the other laborers that were getting ready to start their day of blue collar work.
It was just a hearty breakfast that could stay with you. And
it's funny because later on we're going to hear from Jim, and Jim is going to share the opposite, Crystal, which is watch out for the street vendors, because if you want to clean out your gastrointestinal system, like that might be it. But we did have some of the street food, Eric, just like you did, and to your point, it was wonderful. Like taking quote a little risk in Peru was not a big deal, and the street vendors had I had some of the best, Crystal, empanadas.
Ooh. Oh, I love empanadas.
So good.
But it is weird how it is like two people in the same household could eat the same thing but have two totally different reactions, though. It's just a person by person thing. Sure.
Yeah. But heck, while you're there, especially if they're there for 3 weeks, try it out. Try out the food. And I love sitting there as we were on our bus to see some of the ruins. We actually passed a few of the food stands along the street, and you would see a bunch of the labor sitting by the food stand. And I would often wonder what that food was. And a stew potatoes that taste like blue cheese.
That sounds amazing. Like, I wonder if any of the international H Mart has those potatoes.
I love blue cheese so much.
On the way back, we'd come with our produce for the day.
We also did a bit of world schooling, meaning that we were studying the culture that we were in. So that was our kids' way of education. They also had some online math programs to help them through that portion of their education. But there are other families that do this as well. And so we were able to, on Facebook, to find another group that was going to be in the area with kids, our girls, same age. And we met up with them and were able to they went trick-or-treating in Cusco together. Aww. It was a delight. The girls had a great time and immediately hit it off. And we were able to go to Las Salineras and Ollantaytambo. Wait, did I say right?
Ollantaytambo.
I can't say that either,
wow,
Carrie. I can't. Ollantaytambo. Just a beautiful town with these ruins of a sun temple. They were actually still building the sun temple when the Spanish showed up and wrecked everything. But just a really fun, beautiful town. But let's talk a little bit about the kids, Crystal.
Yeah. And then finding them in a Facebook group. I know when a lot of people go on cruises, they have a group for the people on the cruises for you to connect with beforehand. But this is another idea I totally wouldn't have thought about. You would think of like finding people who have been there, but not, hey, who's going to be there at the same time?
We talk about all the bad things often about social media. This is when social media really works. Because your ability to find people and then study with them, like, that is so cool. That is so neat, Carrie. That just
mind blown.
And the lessons just from learning with people who grew up so much differently than you did and bonding with those people, and maybe, Crystal, maybe pen pals for life.
That's true.
Could be some lifelong friends. Very neat.
And Pisek, which was my favorite rune to see. And we got guides while we were there.
And that was so important to get the guides, because the education you get from them is really, you can't get it just by studying ahead. It's very, very worth it. They're highly educated. And the nice thing is you can just show up, and there's always guides hanging out at the front.
And we were there in shoulder season. So they were
like November, late October.
There were many people to choose from, and we really had those places kind of to ourselves.
Mm-hmm. I'm 100% with them. The guides that we had, not just here, but in other places, whether we had we're on a tour or not, I'm totally with you, Carrie and Eric, that having the guide is really great. In fact, when you go into museums, even Crystal, where you live, those Smithsonian museums, get just the audio tour where they take you around and show you the best things in the museum. Or up in Bentonville, my favorite art museum is called Crystal Bridges. It is the biggest collection of American art in the world. Ooh. And it's a gorgeous facility, but their audio guide is free. It's free.
That's cool.
But there were tons of guides, even when we were there, which was in September. There were guides hanging out at the front. I saw lots of people going up and hiring different guides. For me, I personally would want to go to one of those websites and get my guide ahead of time because I want to look at the reviews. Right. I saw some people look bored to tears with their guide. Didn't, you know what I mean? The guide seems to be droning on and on. Yeah. So I might want to preview them a little, but to their point, you've got guides right there available, probably paid less for those guides than Disney paid for the guide. I paid Disney to get our guide. So you don't have to do this with 15 million bags of money.
Really busy. So we really loved that season, kind of mid-October through mid-November.
And by the way, Eric, on that note too, and Crystal, you mentioned this earlier too about the shoulder season idea. Showing up in these shoulder, the weather's still nice. It's still, everything's open, but the crowds are a lot less.
Yeah.
If you can do that, that's phenomenal. Once our kids graduated and went away, Cheryl and I immediately became May and September travelers to go to all these great places. Now, next year we're going to Greece in June.
Hot. It's going to be hot.
Yes. Yeah. So not as good on that one, but I love shoulder season too, Eric.
And so we also went to Machu Picchu. So we got kind of same day tickets. And so usually in kind of the busier part of the season, you'll go up there and you can get tickets for the next day. It was in shoulder season, so we got that like same day tickets, which aren't a guarantee. So if you have the time to slow travel, spend a few days in Aguascalientes, and that will help you get the tickets. And you can look online about how to find them.
I just need Eric to come and pronounce all the names of these towns for me.
He's killing it, rolling off the tongue, all of them.
It is just amazing. Now, that is serendipity. I'm surprised, Eric, that you guys, not that you got the tickets, but that you trusted serendipity, that you would make it all the way, because you got to go all the way up the mountain. Oh. Well, maybe not. Maybe he knows something that I don't know, and you can get the tickets ahead of time down low. But just getting that far and not having the ticket. And there are different tours. So if you plan far enough ahead, you can get one of the quote better tours.
But there are some things too that, I didn't need to see for myself. Like the Louvre, I was happy taking a picture outside with my hand on top of it. I didn't need to go inside and fight with crowds. Nope. Yeah. I could see the pictures of her, Mona Lisa online. I didn't need to see it in person.
Cheryl had like the big 4 things to see in the Louvre, and the kids and I kept wanting to stop. We were in Paris and go, and she's like, listen, do you want to spend all day in here, or do you want to see the big things and go see the city? And we're like, yeah, we want to see the rest of the stuff. She's like, then keep moving. So she was kind of the drill sergeant for us.
I love it. I love it.
Back to Eric and Carrie.
Okay. Thank you so much. We had a great time in Peru and hope everyone else gets a chance to see those places too.
Yeah.
Oh, Carrie and Eric, thank you. That was amazing.
Can we just pause and appreciate the excitement in their voices when they were talking about the trip too? Like it definitely poured through in your voices, like how awesome the trip was and how excited you were to tell us about it.
Yeah, and you guys were so good at doing that. When Crystal and I were doing our planning meeting, we thought you might have a website or a podcast because they
something.
Yeah,
you guys are awesome.
Yeah, with all that travel that you do, it was super exciting. We went looking for it. We didn't find it, but if you have one, Eric and Carrie, we'd love to point to it. And definitely, if we come across an adventure that you've done or you want to tell a story live, just email us back. That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
We did get an email also from Jim. And when Jim called in, well, Jim kind of set us straight, Crystal. Let's listen.
Hey, Jim here from Florida. Loved your episode on Peru. I recently was there with the tour company called Other Way Round Travel and had a great experience similar to yours with Disney. Had to correct you. If you want to look at their ads, you can confirm this. It's Viator, like buy a tour, but Viator. It drives me crazy every time you misspeak it. Love the show. Thank you.
You mean, Jim, when I say Viator? Viator?
I was calling it Vibrator for some reason. I don't know why.
Vibrator?
No, just Vibrator.
Oh, just Vibrator.
Like, that's a weird name for a tour group, but let's do it.
Viator.
Viator.
Like
Vyeator.
Like via, like via. Via tour. All right, Jim.
Thanks.
We did it. Thanks for setting us straight. I'm still going to call it Viator, I'm sure. It's old habits die hard.
Viator.
Oh, the music's coming up, Crystal, and you know what that means. It is the halfway point of today's show. It's time for our road trip pit stop.
Yes.
You know, on the pit stop, you're always dreaming about what's at the end of that adventure, that rainbow. How cool is it going to be when we get there? Our pit stop is always a hint at our gear of the day, and you can see past gears of the day, which, by the way, we got quite a few of them now. That page is like a great holiday list for somebody that loves to travel. You go to stackadventures.com/GOTD, gear of the day, or just put in the full thing, gear of the day. So, Crystal, what is our hint for today?
So this gear, it keeps you connected and protected wherever you go. I guess that's what
keeps me protected and connected and protected. Wherever I go.
Where you go.
I'm going to think about this, and I'll take my first swing right after the break, and then at the end of the show, Crystal, you'll tell us what it is. But let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Hey, Crystal, you know it's the perfect travel-ish podcast that pairs well with Stacking Adventures?
I happen to do, yes. Well, you've got to check out the Everyday Bucket List podcast. It's hosted by our friend, Karen Cordaway, and she knows a little bit about bucket lists because she wrote an entire book, and it's called the Everyday Bucket List book. And it's all about helping people transform their everyday lives into extraordinary ones by scouting out local adventures or dreaming up a big trip.
Karen has a ton of ideas, everything from big once-in-a-lifetime adventures to simple weekend getaways, seasonal bucket list, and local things to do. Episodes are short, they're practical, giving you tools, tips, and even some money hacks to help make your dreams a reality without smashing your budget into smithereens.
I love the non-budget busting trips. But Karen also covers a wide range of episodes. So sometimes she's flying solo, sharing personal stories from her own bucket list journeys. So you're going to get practical advice from someone who's been there.
Oh, you know what, though, Crystal? I really like the episodes where her husband co-hosts with her. Those are super fun.
Well, if you say so. I'm a solo traveler kind of gal. She also brings on locals and experts to share their insights. There's also a dash of humor and creativity, especially with her snarky robot that chimes in on the show.
That's totally Karen's sense of humor.
Shtick.
If you're feeling stuck or overwhelmed with life's commitments, the Everyday Bucket List podcast will definitely inspire you to make time for the things you love. It's all about making life more exciting with a variety of price points, so definitely give it a listen.
And it's available wherever you're listening to us now, so try it right after we're done here.
All right, Crystal, you said that on our hint, it is something that keeps us connected and protected. Connected and protected. See, it's the connected part that is
I know.
Okay, I'm going to say, you know what? A good OtterBox phone case. That's what I'm going to say.
Oh, that's a good guess.
Yep, you don't got to tell me now, but I'm thinking it's like a phone because that's connected, right? My phone.
Yeah.
And protected. I've dropped that crap before, and that's not cool.
Not cool.
That is so not fun. So we will see at the end of the show. Adventures, what's your guess? We will see.
Yeah, yell it at us.
Hey, we got 2 more messages
Yay.
to the hotline. By the way,
Love it.
we're going to have some more stories coming up. We need your stories about your favorite ghost tours. Give us your favorite ghost tours around the country. Which ones did you like? Or like my ghost tour in Texarkana, which one sucked that you would tell people not to go on? That one sucked so bad. It was so rotten. We also need your trip to Ireland. We heard from quite a few of you already that you went to Ireland, but we can use your stories on the hotline. So give us your trip to Ireland. The place to go, stackingventures.com/mystory or stackingventures.com/voicemail. Either one gets you there. You'll have 5 minutes to tell your story. And then as you're hearing today, you become a part of the show, which is super fun.
It's very special. I feel special.
Joe's a guy that's hung out with our brother show, the Stacking Benjamin show, for a long time. And so Joe has been a stacker for forever. So Joe, let's hear about Joe's Peruvian adventure.
Hello, Stacking Benjamins. Say hi to Doug for me. This is Joe, and I don't actually have a travel story to Peru. However, one time, about 15 years ago, my grandmother got a call from me saying that I was in Peru and she needed to send me money.
Oh, no.
My sister figured out that I have concrete feet and I would never move from Fairfax County, Virginia. So my mother finally figured out after they told my grandmother not to tell her, but she went to her crying, that there's no way in hell that Joe's going to be in Peru. So that's my travel story to Peru. I've never done it, but apparently an imposter did and said they were me. Bye, guys.
Thanks for that, Joe.
Oh, my goodness.
So Joe called in to say, there's no way in hell I've ever gone to Peru. There's your call.
Well, but maybe we need a show on that, the scamsters, because that's another thing for why some people, they wait till they are home from somewhere before they post. Because then if grandma would have saw that Joe was posting that he was in Peru, that would have given scamsters even more fuel to be like, oh no, Joe really is.
That's a great way to stay protected is I never post things about my trip until I get home.
Mm-hmm. Yep, me too.
I tell a few people I'm going, not many, as few as possible, and then wait till I get home, and then I post all the fun that I had on my adventure. But Joe's not far from you, is he, in Fairfax County?
Right, Fairfax, Virginia. It's the next county over.
Yeah, not that far, Joe. So thanks for the call.
Thanks.
And thanks for hanging out with us on the Adventures podcast.
We miss neighbor Doug too. I miss neighbor Doug.
We do. All right. Jim called back though, and Jim is going to share his adventure, which is kind of the halfway point between what Eric and Carrie did on their Peruvian adventure and what I did on mine. Hey, Jim.
Hey, Joe and Crystal. This is Jim Beers from Orlando, Florida. I went to Peru in early September, a few weeks before Joe did. I went with Other Way Round Travel, which is marketed to solo travelers.
Now, Crystal, before he goes on, you looked up this company and you really liked it.
Oh yeah, it looks very cool. It's for, like I said, singles in their 30s and 40s. And they plan everything, and it looks like I'm following them now on all the social medias. I've looked through a lot of their reviews, and it's just been nothing but good news. And now we know someone that's gonna, we're gonna hear from the horse's mouth how his trip went.
And generally, you end up without paying extra on the tour. You share a room with somebody of the same sex.
Right. Yep. And they what else? Some people go as couples, but some people go as singles. So, or you can even do two friends can go. So I don't know.
But it's clearly not marketed
excited.
For couples.
Right.
It's clearly
No,
marketed
it's
toward singles. Yeah. Back to Jim.
Age 30 to 49. You
Okay.
could go with a friend or partner if you wanted to, but that isn't their target market.
Well, we sold Jim's thunder.
On the first night of the trip at the orientation dinner, one of my new travel mates told us that we were all from different backgrounds, from the UK, from Canada, from the United States, but that we were all pretty much the same because we were very passionate about travel, adventure, culture, and having a great time. And she was right. This company does target international destinations like Peru, Mexico, Colombia, Vietnam, Japan, Argentina, mostly third world countries where it'd be harder to arrange your own trip there.
That is very interesting. Well, what I like about that too, Jim, is you've got people on that trip, Crystal, from around the world.
Yeah.
And being able to travel and hang out with people from around the world. I did notice on the Disney trip, a downside is all the trips I've been on, it tends to attract a lot of people who are from the very similar socioeconomic class. And so you really end up with not the variety of travelers that I think you would have on other trips. I do like that, even though he said everybody's the same, I like the fact that different people are going on this trip. So,
and I keep saying, so there's this two guys that went viral. They're in the DC area, but they do these everywhere. Where they plan these dinners, and you're like, it's a dinner of strangers, and you're just getting to know each other. But these two guys in DC are unique because they have to find you. Like, they have their little sign, but it's like, hey, they'll invite you to dinner. So
they invite you.
Yeah. So it's 6 people. So they find 6 random strangers like in the Capitol, and then they invite them to dinner. So I was like, okay, I want them to see me one day.
I had that happen at FinCon. I think I told you that at this conference, Crystal, that you and I go to called FinCon, I got an email from a random guy who just told me, he goes, every year at FinCon, I like to put together an interesting group of 6 people that I don't know. And we just go to dinner and we get to know each other. And he was a guy who'd worked for Seth Godin. He'd also, the marketing guru, he had also worked for Kit, formerly ConvertKit, where when people sign up for our newsletters, those come from there. He'd been the CEO of that company. Wow. And he gets these 6 people, and I didn't hardly know any of these people. And Crystal, to your point, it was super. It was my favorite thing at FinCon this year, besides seeing you. Besides seeing you.
Of course, I know
of course,
that. Wow.
But so, Jim, I like the fact that everybody's united in travel and venture.
Yes.
But also the fact that these people seem to be different. And it is interesting where they take travel. You said, Japan's in there, definitely not a third world country, but Southeast Asia and going to places like Peru, a little bit more of an adventure out of a lot of people's comfort. Clearly not out of Eric and Carrie's comfort zone, right? But out of a lot of people's comfort zone.
Versus some of the more common European countries that people go to themselves. I can usually do these things myself. I've been traveling throughout Europe solo, as well as Costa Rica. I also went to Norway. And I knew Peru required a little more detailed knowledge, and I wanted that personalized tour from a local. And we had a great guide, Manny. He stayed with our 9-person group the entire time. I think just like yours with Adventures by Disney. He looked after all our details and he cared for us. He was also an expert problem solver, and he kept calm when things went wrong. He's led to
This is what I like about the tour, especially in a place like Peru. Things go wrong. I tend to freak out a little bit. Cheryl will tell you. Yeah. And so to have somebody who's like, nope, I know how to get us through this, especially in a place as foreign to me as Peru, was invaluable. It was also invaluable to me in Vietnam when we were there.
I want to go there too.
It was super. We can detail that trip in the future, because that was a wonderful trip as well. But Jim, that guide for me is absolutely fantastic. But I also think there's something to be said though for Eric and Carrie. And last week, Anne, who went to Ireland, people didn't hear that. Go hear her trip, because she also liked getting off the beaten path. But there's something to be said, Crystal, for having to figure it out. And in the few times when I've been in that situation, I'm in a foreign country and I just got to figure it out and it works out, you feel so badass.
Yeah, it's an adventure. Like, just to say, all right, what's going to happen today? What are we going to do today? I like it.
Yeah, how am I going to get out of this?
Tours in almost every continent. We had lots of individual tours with city-specific tour guides. It's like doing 2 Via tours a day. We had 3-star hotels, good quality, not 5-star like Joe's trip on ABD. I would say that the itinerary is not necessarily all that different from what you did with Disney, except everything was more 3-star than 5-star. Our baseline cost was about $4,000 for the 12-day trip, including about 60% of the meals, all the tours, local transportation, and lodging. It did not include getting to and from Lima. I used mostly miles, and it also didn't include gratuities. So if you add in incidentals and your own flights, it could be closer to about $5,000, especially with 2025 pricing. Made friends with the entire group, and we're still in touch, and we talk about our next trips. I got pretty sick from a malaria medication in the jungle in Puerto Maldonado.
Oh no!
Ooh.
Oh,
Aww.
see, this is the hard part right here. My son Jim also went to Peru, and they hiked not the Inca Trail. They hiked the other trail. I don't remember the name of it. I think it's like the Tiger Trail, but it comes from the Amazon side, and it's known as a little bit harder hike. That hike. Well, when he went, he was with a group mostly of Australians. And he got sick, Crystal, on that trip, which ended up being very difficult. His was just related to, his was not malaria medication related. His was related to the altitude, and nobody yet's talked about the altitude, but you really need to take a little time to get used to the altitude when you're there. So for Eric and Carrie, I'm sure it ended up being nothing, because they're at this high altitude for so long. You're up in the Andes when you're in the Sacred Valley, Urubambu, where they stayed and where I stayed. And then up even further, when you get to Machu Picchu, you're even higher. So getting acclimated to that, I would not go to Machu Picchu on day 1 or 2. I would make it toward the end of your trip. If you're there for a week or 2 weeks, make sure that you go to those higher elevations later, so your body can acclimate to these higher spots. But getting sick, Jim, that sucks.
Aww.
And the other group members cared for me all day to nurse me back to health. We hiked the Inca Trail to Machu Picchu, and the second day touring the archaeological site, which was definitely my favorite part. It started with 3 to 4 days in Lima, focusing on city life, the Pacific Ocean, and great cuisine like ceviche. We had some dreary late winter, cooler weather. And I'm sure it'd be beautiful on sunny days too.
I've been told though, Jim, that in Lima, they're just based on where they're at, there's not a ton of sunny days. That the weather often is a little strange in the Lima area, but I'll tell you though, Crystal, man, the ceviche. Have you had ceviche?
Yeah, I've had it. I wouldn't say, "Hey, let's go get ceviche," but I've had it. I liked it.
Yeah, definitely. That's something to try out when you're there. Also,
try it. Yeah.
Also, if you go to Peru, have a pisco sour. Pisco sour is the good drink there. you got to try out the national drink.
Oh, definitely. Pisco sour.
Yep. Pisco sours are a fantastic Peruvian drink. And Jim, I'm with you. If you want the cuisine, it's not going to be in the Sacred Valley. There'll be some decent restaurants there. Cusco, you can probably find a decent place, although we ate at an Irish pub when we were
Oh my goodness.
Authentic.
I hope
Irish
it wasn't
pub.
Applebee's. Do you consider that the Irish pub?
We did not, but it was one of the last nights of the tour, and we're like, you know what? I just want a beer in a relaxed place.
Mm-hmm.
And some of our friends went to a really nice restaurant. They had a great time there, great restaurant, but we did not. But anyway, Jim, back to you.
2 days in the Amazon jungle. It was very rustic, hot and humid. Not truly the Amazon, but a tributary of it. We saw lots of wildlife like monkeys and birds. It was interesting, but honestly nothing that I hadn't already seen in the Florida Everglades or Costa Rica. We had 4 days in the Sacred Valley, and my top recommendation is to spend more time there, as I love the mountains and hiking. We had
So this is interesting, Jim, because I do think our itineraries were a little different. The highlights were a lot. The Disney tour did not include Lima at all. So we did extra days in Lima to get that cuisine part of the tour that you had, because Disney was not going to do that. They focused on exactly what you said you wanted to do more of. We spent 5 days in the Sacred Valley. And that's where Eric and Carrie, Crystal, spent most of their time. Urubambu is right in the heart of the Sacred Valley. This is an amazing, amazing area. The little towns, not just Urubambu, but other little towns, the markets in the little towns, like going between these different places in the Sacred Valley. If you only have a little time, Jim, I'm totally with you. A lot of time in the Sacred Valley. By the way, our next trip to Peru, we're already talking about hiring one of our Disney guides. He doesn't do it through Disney. He does it on his own. He will take you across the mountains to the Amazon side and take you on an Amazon adventure. Ooh. And so we were talking about hiring Rudy, one of our guides. And we got his contact information.
Trouble. Oh, okay.
Oh, no. Disney is fine with it. All the Disney guides that we had also work for different companies.
Great.
And it was amazing hearing the Disney hiring process about how they got the job. It's a really hard job to get, obviously. But our guide in Vietnam, he called himself Henry because his Southeast Asian Vietnamese given name was so hard to pronounce that he said, call me Henry. All my Western friends call me Henry. So we called him Henry. Henry, when he wasn't doing Disney travel, he was a guide with Viking Cruises. So
neat.
All these guides do other things. And so we're talking about hopefully getting Rudy to take us into the Amazon jungle. Because unlike you, Jim, I haven't seen a lot of that stuff. I've been to Indonesia, saw a little bit in the jungle when we were in Laos, but not to the extent it sounds like that you have. Anyway, Sacred Valley, Jim, I can definitely hear doing more, and I'm with you. Anybody that's going to Peru, try to spend a bunch of time in the Sacred Valley.
They're dry, cool weather, 8,000 to 10,000 feet altitude. Many of the details surrounding Machu Picchu have had to be worked out well in advance and arranged with a local tour guide. So make sure you do your due diligence before touring there. We had an excellent local tour guide named Kelly in the Sacred Valley. If I went again, I'd like to have done some more mountain hikes in the Andes and maybe Lake Titicaca near the Bolivian border.
I also would like to do that. I heard that's fantastic. Rudy, our guide, that's where he's originally from, is northern Peru. And I would absolutely love to do the same. Next time I go, Amazon, and then really stay out of Cusco and don't get me wrong, Cusco was great, Lima was great, but let's go see more of the countryside. Kind of, now that I've been there once, doing more what Carrie and Eric did, but they're more adventurous, Crystal, than I am. I love the fact that I got a taste of it first, and now I'm like, I want to go back and do that. Do that.
And maybe learn some more Spanish. You'll see you'll get along really well. I knew a little bit from high school. The people are very friendly. My warnings would be to avoid street food and anything not cooked with proper sanitation. Don't drink tap water and try to keep clean yourself, as the sanitation isn't to Western standards. I think other way around travel might be just right if you're open-minded and you like this kind of travel. I would gladly go again to another tour, maybe to Argentina. I would love to have a little more slow time to explore sites like Machu Picchu or the Sacred Valley and more free days for hiking. You could also take a trip and tack on more days at the beginning or end if you'd like to. Thank you for your stacking shows, and I hope to meet up with you in Florida if you're ever here sometime.
Aww.
Let's do it, Jim. A few years ago, we did a meetup in Orlando for my book tour. We actually did a live comedy club show in Orlando that was fun. We did a comedy club tour with the Stacking Benjamin show called the 3-City Tour, and Orlando kicked it off. It was super fun. Hopefully we do that again soon. But Jim, thank you so much.
Yes, Jim.
For that. Absolutely. Crystal, what I really love about Jim's call there at the end, Jim, that's exactly why we go early and stay late. We went to Chile on the end of it because we wanted to tack on some adventure of our own and then get a little, Carrie and Eric travel where we just went and did our own thing. And in Lima did our own thing. I felt very comfortable in the big city, do my own thing, Crystal. But when we got up there to the Sacred Valley, there was just so much to see. We only had limited time. So we took it. Certainly if I had a month like Carrie and Eric did, maybe, but I probably would still do the tour first, like Jim and I did, just to make sure that I saw the highlights. I feel like we talked about before, it's insurance a little bit, But if I go to Paris, I'm not booking a tour to Paris.
Well, what I did, and that was exactly what I was going to say. It was like when I went to Paris, I got on the hop on, hop off bus, and I did one entire loop on the bus, and then I did the stops of where, I was just going to scout to where I wanted to get off and explore. So that's another good thing that I like that he said, is just maybe tack on the extra days at the end, because at the beginning you'll get to see everything and then decide, okay, this is where I want to go back to spend more time. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of that too. Yeah,
totally. It's interesting. So you are more, it sounds like, based on our conversation, you're more in kind of the gym camp, not quite Carrie and Eric doing it.
I mean, if I had a family, it's totally different. That's two different lifestyles or what have you, because that way it's just me. So the money Jim spent, I guess you possibly someday what you spent, but what Jim spent is in my area, because if I had a family of 4, or I don't know how many were in their family, I would need a $40 a night accommodations, that there's just no getting around it. But if it's just me and I've saved up more and it's just me, then I could justify that other price.
It is, truly, if you're going to do that higher end Disney vacation that I did, for a lot of people, that is once in a lifetime stuff.
Yeah, I need to be married for that one too, I feel like.
I'm very lucky that, well, there were several single people, but they brought friends.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yep.
A birthday. Maybe my 47th birthday.
Come on, Crystal. Come to Greece with us.
Save enough in time.
Come to Greece. I heard fun. Greece is the word.
Yeah. Okay. Pencil me in.
From an old movie. I heard Greece is the word. All right. Yes. Thank you so much to Carrie and Eric, to Joe, to Jim, to Viator.
Yes. Viator. I was like, wait, are you saying it right? Yes, you are.
Yes. Viator. Yes. Viator. Thank you for that, Jim. Help us out with future shows, adventures. I love these episodes. I know you do too, Crystal.
This is the where the magic happens. This is the magic. You guys are the magic.
They totally are the magic. We need your ghost tour stories. We need your Ireland stories. And next week, we are going to go to Chile on a wine tour.
Ooh, you guys are going to love this.
It's going to be super fun.
It. Yeah.
Kylie Sheriff, who took Cheryl and I and our friends when we went to Chile, she took us on a wine tour, and we're like, you know what? Let's talk wine tours, because oh boy, these are fun. And why not just go to wine country? Why do a wine tour? So if you've got wine tour stories, heck, bring those on.
Yes.
stackingadventures.com/mystory or /voicemail. Yeah. All right, Crystal, the music's on again. Time for you to spill the beans. So it keeps you connected and protected, is what you said while you're traveling. I'm going to stick with it. I think like an OtterBox, nice. My phone keeps me connected and the OtterBox keeps me protected. So I'm saying a phone case.
That was a great guess, but no. Maybe the clue wasn't amazing, but it's one of these. It is a travel universal adapter and surge protector.
Oh, super.
So this works everywhere. Like it has a little, it pops up, like the US plug, but then it has the Europe plug. And then, so it has all the different country plugs. And if you can't live without your Dyson hair dryer, which I cannot, you can plug it in.
Either. I need my hair dryer for all this.
Even if you have to take your MacBook or whatever, it will not fry your circuit. As an electrical engineer, I care about your circuits. So don't just go willy-nilly plugging your stuff into walls. You need a surge protector, even on travel. Especially because a lot of places, they have these monsoon rainstorms every day, and they lose power, so you don't know when that power surge is going to come back on. So why not plug it into a power surge?
It's a handy thing to have. We have one of those as well. And you know what? I didn't think I needed it. I thought it was overkill till we went to Indonesia. And Indonesia, the power was all over the map. Sometimes I would plug my MacBook in and not use that, and it would get really hot. And I'm like, okay, it's pumping some rando amount of power
exactly
through
you need
the system.
Converter. You need the power converter so it doesn't fry your circuit.
Yeah. Yep. Good stuff. And also, by the way, in the middle of the night, the power would just all go off.
Yeah, there you go.
And it would pop back on.
And when it pops on, you don't want a surge to kill all your devices, because then what are you going to do?
That's fantastic. We're going to add it to our store. I'm telling you, we've got great stuff there that's all been tested. And if you go to the store, not only are you getting great stuff for you, but you also are helping out the show. So thank you to people who have done that. They bought our card game.
Yes.
Don't Llama.
Don't Llama. That's a big hit.
All right. Next week, wine tours. This week, Crystal, you and I got some eating to do. So
yes, we do.
Happy Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for Crystal Hammond. That's who I'm thankful for.
I'm thankful for Joe Saul Seahigh.
You're thankful for Texarkana.
Yep. Thanks for being born. Yeah, and this is your season. Tudurkin, Texarkana. Isn't that the birthplace of Tudurkin?
And on that note, she's Crystal.
And I'm Joe.
We'll see you next time.
The focus spray wore off.